Mark Biltz. Tell me a bit about your background, that you know these things.
Well, sure, I'd love to, Sid. To me, this is so exciting. I feel like just a little kid. And when I was a little kid, I loved astronomy. And I'd be laying down out on the grass, and I'd be looking up at the heavens, and like Psalms 19, where it says, the heavens declare the glory of God. And I would just be looking up, and I just love it. And I had a telescope, and I'd always be trying to find the moons around Jupiter and the ring around Saturn. And then as I got older and I became a believer and filled with the Holy Spirit, and I just loved God, and all of a sudden I found out about the feasts of the Lord. And I realized they weren't the Jewish feasts, but they were the Lord's feasts. And I'm going to NASA's website because I love math, I love science. And I had seen this beautiful total lunar eclipse over the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And I got to thinking about the Bible verses, you know, with the moon turning to blood and the sun to sackcloth. And so what did I do? I said, well, let's see if there's any interesting eclipses coming up. And so I looked, and I saw there were these 4 total lunar eclipses in a row. And I thought, well, how often does that happen? And so I was going to NASA's website, and I saw it didn't happen at all in the 1800s, didn't happen in the 1700s, didn't happen in the 1600s.
So it's pretty rare.
It's very, as a matter of fact, after my research, I found it has only happened 8 times in the last 2,000 years
that's
that
rare.
these have fallen on the biblical feast days. But that's what was so amazing. I'm in my prayer closet. It's about 4 in the morning. I was getting up, early for a long time. And I'm praying, and all of a sudden, it's like this voice comes and says, Mark, put these on the biblical holidays. Because when I was on NASA's website, it had like April and October, April and September, and it was like a download. And so I get all excited, and I run out to my computer, and I get on the computer, and I see they fell on Passover and Tabernacles, Passover and Tabernacles. So now I'm ready to jump out of my skin. I can't believe this. Oh my gosh, you know. And so I go back and I look, and then I see when else they've happened in history, and it just blew me away.
One was just happened to be in 1948. Another one just happened to be in 1967. What significant things happened in 1948 and 19... I think all of you know. Do many of you know what happened in 48 and 67? But just in case.
Well, sure. Well, the thing that amazed me concerning the math is, you know, according to NASA, over 5,000 years, you only average 1 total lunar eclipse every year and a half. And here we have 4 within a year and a half, and they're falling on the feast days. And the last time it happened was when Israel recaptured Jerusalem in 1967 and 1968. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, good grief, this is supernatural. And so I go running back, and I look at the next date, and it was right after Israel became a nation in 1948. It happened in 1949 and 50.